Money, ladies and gentlemen, is always a topic of interest. Why? Because there's something about money that just feels so freaking hard to figure out. And so in this video, I'm gonna break down what the money obstacles are for each energy type and how you can use energetic alignment to attract more abundance, more financial stability, and money in a rich man's world. So without further ado, this is probably a horrible intro that's gonna perform very bad, but because we're talking about money, I hope you're gonna like it. You found out about human design and now you wanna understand how you can use energetic authenticity to create more abundance, make more money, and gain financial stability. In this video, I'm gonna break down how you can start moving from lack mindset and resistance towards a real opulent, magnetic state so that you can have a life that is filled with things that bring you joy, that give you a sense of safety, and just having that extra kind of feeling of everything will turn out perfectly aligned for the life your soul and your heart yearns. Money is one of those topics that just gains so much traction, and I really think it is because money is like that energy that we all kind of understand has this incredible force, and for most of us, we struggle to understand how to kind of like make it work in our favor. I recently saw a video where somebody was talking about that in our society, money is God. And I thought that that was such an interesting perspective. And so what this analyst was sharing and describing is that right now we are in an era where we are fighting finance and tech. So in society, even though it is maybe masked as politics or politicians, what we're experiencing is the finance world wanting to make money God and sustaining money as a God, and then tech trying to push AI as the new God into society. And that is the fight that we're witnessing in real time. So I think it's interesting because at the end of the day, we have the feeling that there's so much instability with everything that's going on in the world. And I want to share the human design tool as a way for you to understand how you can actually use your own energetic authenticity and the trust that you can gain within yourself to know that no matter what happens, you are safe and you have a deeper understanding of how to magnetize abundance, move out of lack mindset, and really create this beautiful, opulent life for yourself. So if you're somebody who's struggling financially, or if you're somebody who's like at a plateau, or if you're somebody who's like, I got money down, but I really want to understand energetics deeper, then this video is for you. Famously, we know, I think it was JP Morgan who actually said, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do, and I feel like everybody should be using human design to put some fat checks in the bank. So let's dig deep. Welcome to the Human Design Portal, your safe space to decondition so that you can align with the right people, opportunities, and chances. If you're new here, my name is Maika Gabriela, and I'm a human design reader, a deconditioning expert, and the founder of the Transformational Human Design Certification. And every single Sunday, you will see my face here serving you up in the most easily understandable way information about personal development, energetics, and human design. Please subscribe and allow this channel to grow so that we can continue to serve everybody so much value and life-changing information. Thank you. So one of the things that I've really realized is that there is some truth and understanding that your nervous system has to be able to sustain the wealth that you want to attract. Because there's one thing of putting in the effort and creating alignment and then creating portal, creating an opportunity. You can't just be sitting on your couch and being like, I want to make more money. You have to figure out what are the steps you need to take to be able to make more money. If this means taking on a second job, if this means creating a digital product, if this means, studying something so in the long run you can expand your offers. There are actionable steps that are tangible, that are 3D, that are practical, that will give you the possibility to have a new income stream. And only then can you be able to be like, okay, I've done what I had to do to receive more money. Once you are in the actionable step of I've done what I need to do, there's the piece of alignment. There's the piece of I'm doing it in a way that removes resistance, shows myself authentically, allows me to tap into my gifts, because my gifts are how I'm actually able to contribute. And when I contribute, I will receive a payback. That's the law of the universe. And then it is all about how am I able to prepare my subconscious, my nervous system to sustain this. I am somebody who gets triggered quite a lot by everybody blaming the nervous system for everything. Like, how is the nervous system going to be relaxed if we're blaming it for being broke? I don't get that theory, but you guys can like it. I'm a bit of a nervous system hater, to be honest. Like, it triggers me so much, so that's probably my issue. But what I have experienced to be true is that when there is an amount of abundance and growth coming into your life, your nervous system, your subconscious, your conscious has to be prepared to lock the F in. Okay? Why? Because I have literally had weeks where the money's coming in, where I have sudden growth on social media, sudden like influx of demand, and I literally feel my body shaking because I'm stressed out, and I don't even know why, because all of my prayers have been heard, and now I'm at the height of like experiencing incredible like recognition, and money's coming in. And I'm like, why is my body agitated by that influx? And it's because there's an influx of energy, and you need to be able to sustain it. You need to be able to calm the F down and be able to hold what's coming in. So there is a truth in that. But the way that I want to reframe it is that we need to understand that our nervous system and what makes us feel safe is something that is built, like the frequency is built from 0 to 8. It's similar, like I think it's pretty tied to the subconscious too. And so in that period of our life, if we grow up around chaos, if we grow up around lack, if we grow up around, like money doesn't grow on trees and people in power are like demonic, and I don't know, like whatever the story that you have heard growing up around money and people of power, like it is very hard for you to be able to make money if you despise and hate and have a very negative narrative around everybody who's making money. Those are two competing beliefs that are so hard to make them work together. So the number one thing that I feel is keeping most people financially stuck is that you cannot become a kind of person that deep down you judge, you reject, and you dislike. If all of the people who are making money that you relate to or that come into your orbit, you are like, oh, look at all of these politicians, they're all even. I agree, okay? We're all human. This idea of like these idealistic humans, politicians, doctors, it's all going down the drain. New paradigm, the files, you've been on the internet. It's a shit show. I think it's actually quite practical for all of us to realize that we're all human and we're all just swimming in the same shit, okay? And so we're all just figuring it out. And there is no need to idolize anybody. But there's also no need to put other people down. I had so much rejection around people that had money. There was such a disdain, and I always thought that they had a bad character. I thought that they lacked integrity, and this concept of backstabbing to get what you want. I had a lot of beliefs that were limiting my capacity to want to be that person. How do I want to become a millionaire if I think all millionaires are bad people? I don't want to be a bad person. So then that discourse makes me not be able to embody somebody who has money or is quote unquote a millionaire. I don't know what millionaire should be in quotes, but it's just, that is also, the internet is also so full of people telling you whatever. Revenue is not the same as profit. People are throwing numbers out there to see if they can get you to be convinced that you should trust them with your money. And while I'm saying that, I have something to offer to you, which is a PDF that I've created for every single energy type, where I go in depth around human design and money tailored to your specific energy type. So this is an incredible opportunity if you want to narrow down how human design is going to help you with money. But beyond that, understanding that if we have competing beliefs, if you think that everybody who makes money and everybody who has money is evil, you won't want to become the person who has has money, because that means that you're evil. You need to reframe that thought in the way that I've really reframed it, is that if I get rich, you're getting spoiled. The more money I have, the more opportunity I have to support, to enhance other people's lives, to bring, like newness and creativity and beauty into people's lives. Like if I would have a better budget, the videos would be better. My wardrobe would be better. I want to throw events with the money that I make in the business so that your experience gets better, so that the impact is bigger, louder, more long lasting. So to me, having resources is a way that I can fuel my creativity, that I can share with you, that hopefully has a bigger impact in you, so that it has a greater chance of transforming your life to the positive. And so when I think about why I personally desire to have more financial success, I get excited about that prospect. That is like, oh my God, that would be incredible. Like I want to do pop-ups, and like the ideas that I have are great. So also meeting people who are financially successful and realizing that a lot of them are actually exceptional humans, that I feel like, oh, I understand why they are at that level of financial success, is because they're actually just like better than other people. Not always, because there's a lot of people who are using money for evil, and a lot of people who have gained money by doing bad. And, at the end of the day, we have to just realize, again, it's all the intention that we bring to the situation. But to me, it was really inspiring and really healed my relationship with making money and wanting to make money and saying it out loud. For so many years, I was scared that I was going to be judged, especially in the spiritual industry. It's like, if you're spiritual, you're not allowed to be materialistic. Well, guess what, bitches? I'm a 3-5 and I like nice things. I have a defined ego. Like, it's okay. You guys can all hate me in the comments. This is my truth. This is my truth. I want to be able to do something beautiful in the world. I want to use my gifts for good. I want to empower people. I want to make you feel seen. I want to make you feel loved. And I want to make money while I do that. Like, why is that a crime? I don't understand. But that is the one of the first things, right? It's like those competing beliefs. And what has helped me is like owning what I want and where I want to go, and being okay with that, because that's my authentic self. Meeting people who are financially successful and realizing that these people, they do good in the world, and they've achieved what they've achieved with high integrity and value. And that's actually what's helped them stand out. That there's a good way to get there, and not only like an evil backstabbing way to get there. And then really reframing my concept of how money can be of service instead how it can be of detriment, right? Because another thought could be like, oh, if I have money, people are just going to use me for my money. People are just going to be my friends because I am successful. People are going to like backstab me, like a sense of I'm not safe if I make money, right? Like you will have your beliefs, but these were some of the ideas that I had to like walk through and uncover. I'm spicy today. Maybe it is because while I'm recording this, all freaking planets are in Aries, but I'm spicy today, my beautiful people. So let's see how the video goes. Anyways, that is one of the things. Another thing that feel very strongly about is that I think that a lot of people are financially stuck because they operate from the fantasy of what they want life to be, and they have a really hard time adapting to the reality of what it takes to make money and to build a business or to be financially abundant. The fantasy is the dream world. I want the world to work like this. I want to have a digital business where I don't have to make content consistently, and every now and then I show up and that works perfectly and I make a lot of money. I want to just be working on my nervous system and do the less possible, and somehow that makes me super successful. I want to there's also so much BS that's happening on the internet and like the soft girl life stuff. And I am all for the soft girl life to a certain extent. Obviously, I don't recommend being financially dependent on anybody. I really enjoy the concept of making your own money, having your own freedom, having your own independence. And that doesn't mean you can't have somebody that supports you financially even though you're doing well, or that wants to serve you, or that wants to spoil you. Like, we have to stop believing that if I make my own money as a woman, nobody can ever invite me to dinner. Like, no. On to the next. The fantasy of the reality versus what it actually takes. And what it actually takes is going to be sacrifice. What it actually takes is doing the hard thing. What it actually takes is moving through difficulty, is dealing with the sense of rejection, as having to fight against your sense of low self-worth if you're getting getting rejected or you're talking to the ether and nothing's happening. So there is a game we have to play. You cannot want to win in life and be like, yeah, but the rules of the game don't apply to me. If the rules of the game don't apply to you, you are not playing the game, you cannot win the race. Full stop. Full stop. I am sure that there's many people who are incredibly successful who have hacked the system, who have made up their own rules, who have bent the rules to their benefit, 200%. But they're still playing the game. It's a game of attention. It's a game of consistency. It's a game of like enduring a shitstorm. It's a game of like doing the hard thing. It's the game of having to look at yourself and the things that you're lacking and why things are moving and confronting your own limitations and working through that, no matter how painful, how hard, how stressful it gets. And that is the game. If you don't want to play the game, that is fine. That is fine. But you cannot try to win without playing the game or complain about having to play the game to win. Fantasy is not gonna make you financially abundant. The reality of understanding the game and then figuring out how you can hack the system, sure, go ahead and do that, like 200%. But you have to understand that money works a certain way, the world works a certain way, and just because we don't like it or we haven't understood how to make it work in our favor doesn't mean that that is the reality of how things work. And I'm no expert because I am in the process of figuring it out. I am no expert. I've done really well for myself if I look at where I've come from and where I'm now, but my desire is very limitless. My dreams are humongous, and I've had to learn to really bring those dreams down so I wouldn't continuously have this very negative perception of myself, because I would never hit my expectations. My own expectations have always been so high, and that is my kind of prerogative. That is the issue that I deal with, right? And so my own journey has been like, stop dreaming so big, bring it down to reality, be realistic, because I am a big dreamer and I want you to dream big. Unless you have gate 41 like me, then all people that have gate 41, I'm gonna tell you to stop dreaming this big. I feel like those are really important components to understand why some people are able to have more financial gains than other people. Okay, so back to the nervous system. What happens with the nervous system is that we recognize a certain frequency as safety. If we've experienced lack and chaos around finances, or even if we watched our parents struggle to find a job, to maintain a job, the way they hopped around, the way they weren't able to find solution to problems, very often we will get our nervous system stuck in this kind of frequency that mimics what we've experienced, because even though we don't like it, to our system, to our subconscious, to our nervous system, that chaos, that stress feels safe. If you grew up with extreme lack, it can feel unsafe to have financial safety. And I know that sounds insane, because you're like, there's nothing that I want more than to have money and not stress about it. But your body actually feels the safest when it knows what's coming, and when it knows that every month there's going to be issues with rent, or you can't buy that extra whatever, then your nervous system is like, oh, this is safe. This I know how to deal with. And so when you're trying to move into making more money, holding more abundance, living a more opulent life, you're always going to have to move out of your comfort zone and step into that new reality of what it means to be able to feel safe without the financial stress and strain. And so the nervous system and the subconscious are two very important doorways to be able to actually step into a new kind of financially rich timeline. And yet they're so deeply ingrained and they're so tied to our sense of survival, life and death, that stepping out of that kind of like man-made jail where we're just holding on to like, this is the subconscious that I feel good with. This is the nervous system that even though it's like stressful, it's the one that I'm familiar with, and I'm holding on to this for dear life, because if I would just step out, because I could just step out of this reality, the new one, I don't know how it's going to feel. I don't know how I'm going to deal with how I feel. Who am I? Like, we have a persona. Who am I in this new reality where money's coming in, where I'm safe, where I can buy everything that I want, where I'm stop obsessing, where I stop being jealous or stop pointing or stop, like showing on all of the things that I don't have because suddenly now I can have them. Stepping into that train of thought and trying to get your nervous system into place where it's slowly moving out of the chaos that it's accustomed to and bringing it into different resonance where calmness and safety are the new barometer of feeling comfortable and familiarity can be a first step or accompanying step to the actionable steps of actually creating new portals and opportunities and streams of income. And now let's get into the energetics for each and every single energy type. Let's dig deep. My dearest reflector, what is going to keep you stuck is holding on to the persona. You are unaligned when you're holding on to the persona that you think you have to be, instead of creating space, allowing freedom for what you're meant to become entering your life. This is pivotal. Second, what is keeping you stuck is the lack of trust and waiting 28 days. And I've seen this so closely watching my very, very few, but I do have some reflector friends where I'm like, you could have just waited. If you would have waited, your life would look so different right now, and that is crazy. Like the incredible change and shift that I've seen around reflectors who have the capacity to ground themselves and be like, I'm not making a decision because I need more time. And that being a non-negotiable boundary that gets respected and admired because it's so integrated by the reflector that people don't take it as a threat. People don't rush a reflector when the reflector's aligned. They're like, oh, sure, if that's what you need, I see you, I appreciate you, I know your value, I see your worth and wisdom. I will give you the time that you need to proceed and make the right decision for you. End of story. And that is the magnetism that allows you to step into that full self-worth that then reflects this kind of new version of yourself to the world that can attract and sustain money. This is going to be a rapid fire. If you want to know more, I have these money PDFs. It's a digital downloadable booklet for each energy type on how to use human design and energetic authenticity to move out of resistance, make more money, and create an abundant life that you can sustain with ease and joy. Let's talk about the manifestor. The manifestor's biggest blocks around money is not understanding how powerful they are and that they can just go and get it. So often for manifestors, it's more of this reality, the skewed reality. It's not fully seeing the capacity that they innately hold, because if there's somebody who can sell something on the spot, find a new job, create a new opportunity, like the manifestor has such ease in that if the manifestor is aligned. Because you can literally just go into a coffee shop and be like, hey, I would like to take a second job. Do you have opportunities? Most often than not, they might even make them for you because you're a manifestor, you demanded what you wanted, you informed them where you're at, and they're like, yeah, oh my God, your energy is amazing, sure. You have a vision for what you want to bring here, incredible, new job acquired. So I think it is the lack of seeing themselves clearly. It can also be the skewed view of the reality of the situation, because there's such an innate desire for manifestors to not play by the rules, to be completely free, to do whatever they want, when they want it. They can be complicated to employ, but if you are your own boss, then within that, you just have to be incredibly accountable for yourself and rigorous with stepping into the dynamic that you want to create and consistently bring the vision into life, and then doing the actionable steps that require you to have something tangible. And so the manifestor just has this capacity to go full force, to put 300 gears into motion to achieve what they want once they know what they want. And that is an incredible, powerful resource to have. And so what is keeping manifestors most from achieving financial stability or abundance is really more of a mindset issue. So identifying with money is bad, I am not deserving, I don't know, I don't see myself as important enough or powerful enough to be able to sustain what I desire, more than an actual capacity to just go out there and get shit done and make that money, baby. Let's look at the manifesting generator. I have the feeling the manifesting generators shouldn't be struggling with money at all, to be honest. But I know that some of you do. And so the manifesting generator has this innate capacity to move inside the social structures with ease. So there's something about the pragmatic of like the playing the game that I was mentioning that manifesting generators are really good at. They really understand how to play the game, and because they are the strongest, the fiercest, the most unapologetic, and the most capable because they have that amount of consistent energy, but they're also able to ask what they want, I feel like they play the game pretty well. And so again, what might keep a manifesting generator is a negative self-perception that leads to not having direction, that leads to giving up before something has been able to light you up. That, you know, one of the biggest things that manifesting generators share with me, it's like, oh, like I always give up. Like, how am I meant to make money? How am I meant to start a business? How am I meant to have like consistency and like build something? And if every 2 weeks I change my opinion, you shouldn't be changing your opinion every 2 weeks. Just because a manifesting generator is a multi-hyphenate and multi-passionate doesn't mean you're meant to be changing your ideas every 2 weeks. If you're changing your ideas every 2 weeks, I don't think you have the proper connection to the sacral that is guiding you on the thing that you're meant to double down on. So the thing you're meant to have consistency with as a manifesting generator is your sacral response. And so it still requires going through the hard stuff. It still requires to show up when you don't really feel like showing up. We all have to do that shit because that is the game. So it's differentiating what is the game, what is my energetic authenticity, and not using spiritual bypassing and human design and whatever other like woo-woo tool to be like, oh, this is not for me, I'm gonna give up. Oh, this is too hard, it's not aligned. No, make an effort, get shit done, pull yourself together, pull through. Like there is a core of the human quality, like you're going to need to be brave, you're going to need to have courage, you're gonna need to have thick skin. Like the reason not everybody is financially successful and has a bunch of money is because not everybody has those qualities to overcome the toughness that it takes to change the mindset and to step into the reality of what needs to be done to get yourself there. I feel like I'm being so harsh in this video that I'm like, should people really know how I think? This is how I talk to myself. If I'm honest, I'm just gonna take a moment to be very honest. This is how I talk to myself. Like, I'm tough on myself, guys. And maybe that is not the most aligned, and maybe that is not the most holistic, but I like to be tough on myself because the world wants to make us all soft. We have everything available at every single turn. We don't need to make effort for anything in our lives anymore. Nothing seems to be hard. But that also means that whatever we achieve never really feels satisfying. There is a natural reward system in our body, and that is friggin' dopamine. Dopamine should only be released when we've done something hard, like I did this morning, which was building muscle and going to the gym, even though I've slept like 4 hours today. So I talk to myself with discipline, and I'm strict on myself. And sometimes, specifically on the first day of my period, I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna watch a TV show 12 p.m., 2 hours until I have to pick up my daughter. Let's watch some toxic rom-com. I'll do that, okay? And I'll eat chocolate and I'll pig out and I'm like brain rotting. I don't care. But for the majority, I have great work ethics. I put my money where my mouth is. I try to be as professional as I can. I strive for excellence. I take responsibility and pride in what I'm building. I put myself through hard moments. I deal with the mental stress that it requires when things are going wrong. And then I'm also really freaking happy when things are going really well, like today. So I just wanted to put that in there because I'm really afraid that you're going to hate me for, oh my God, what's going on? This is like my attachment is coming through. I don't know what's going on today. It's the planets in Aries. I'm really afraid. I'm afraid that if I'm honest, if I'm this level of honest of what I think it takes to make money, that you're going to resent me for it because it might make you uncomfortable and you might not want to hear it. And that's okay. Go to the channel that tells you that all you need to do is regulate your nervous system and money will come in effortlessly. Sure, go do that. Like I'm not for everyone. We've established this. I have a very individual chart. Anyways, Where are we at? We're at our beautiful generators. What is keeping generators from experiencing abundance is the continuous sacrifice. It is the lack of vision. If you are consistently sacrificing your joy and your desire to support somebody else's vision, your own vision of who you want to become and what your life is meant to look like is going to get very blurry. And it is very hard to step into a reality where you are out of your comfort zone if your comfort zone is people pleasing and being of service to others. Being of service to others is really beautiful. Okay, I actually don't want to use that kind of word for that because I'm very precise with the words that I use, and being of service is actually what's going to make you really, really, really wealthy. But you need to be of service in a way that sparks your joy. I think generators have also, like, when you double down, and this is so scary, when you double down on just doing what you love, like let's take Rosalia. You guys know I like my Rosalia. She comes from the same city that I've grown up in, Rosalia. And she's a generator, and she is obsessively working on things. But I think what makes her so exceptional as an artist, specifically with her last album, Lux, is that she was like, I'm going to record an album, and it's going to take X amount of time of my life. And this, I've heard her say this, she's like, what is it that I need for myself? And what she needed for herself in this moment of time, which makes sense because at the end, music is kind of like this channeling of the collective, is like, I'm done doom scrolling. I don't want to shortcut anything. I don't want to have those 30-second reels giving me like advice or knowledge. Like, I want to learn, and I want to study, and I want to go deep, and I want to like figure things out, and I want to like go through the trenches, and I want to experience something. And so she read the books, she studied the saints, she went into mythology, she learned new languages, and for I think 2-3 years, all she did was like, probably not all she did, but you get what I'm saying. She like followed her sequel. What is it that I desire? What am I hungry for? What are the lyrics that like, what are the texts? What are the people? What are the images? What am I truly like? What does my soul need to be nourished? And that incredible doubling down on her sequel desire has led her to create a fucking masterpiece. And I feel this is true for all you generators out there, that the moment that you allow yourself to be unapologetic about what it is that lights you up, and it doesn't matter how cringy it is, it doesn't matter how afraid you are of what other people are thinking, none of those things matters. What really, really matters is, am I 2000% excited about this? Does this light me up? Does this keep me awake? Does this fill my soul and my heart? And when you share that with the world, when you invest your time in that, your aura is going to be so freaking magnetic that just money won't stop coming into your bank account. Like, I believe this to be true to 100%, okay? Taking into account the things that I was talking about in the intro. You still gotta do the portals. Like, if she wouldn't have put out music, or if she wouldn't have started a tour, which is an incredible amount of effort, an incredible amount of sacrifice, that money wouldn't have come in, because she can be working in that in her home and get super excited, but if she doesn't share it, people can't purchase it. The game, rules, we gotta play it. Okay. Last but not least, we have our beautiful projectors. And our beautiful projectors struggle so much financially, especially, I feel like, the men. And I truly think that that is because our society is absolutely not built for people who need to be invited in. Unless you are really blessed and knowing how to sell yourself to any person in any situation, projectors are going to be the ones that, across the board, okay, just like as the amount of projectors and the amount of people struggling financially is much higher in projectors than it is measured with sacral beings, for example, okay? That doesn't mean that you are not struggling. I'm just saying that projectors, in the overall view, are the ones that struggle most financially because they can just go out and get a job. And so they struggle applying for jobs, they struggle hiring, they struggle then being seen, they struggle being valued, they don't know how to go about getting a job, they often just don't have the connections because they're not invited to places. So it gets really, really tough. They need to be invited to get paid. Like, listen, I have struggled so many years to create what I've created now. And it was just the worst pain ever because I knew that my signature was success, and not being able to prove that financially was heart destroying, soul shattering. And so I really think that projectors need to understand that there's a season in life for everything, and that yes, you have to wait for the invitation, and yes, you don't have to work work more than 3 hours in your specific niche. But I do believe that for most projectors, there is a moment where they have to double down and do more than they're comfortable with to create some kind of like momentum. There needs to be something where people are able to see you. If people aren't able to see you, it's very hard for you to be recognized and people to pay you. So maybe it is creating more content. Maybe it is working harder, longer, more hours. Maybe it is working for free, which I also never recommend as a projector. But you know, I also did a couple, I don't know, many 5-10 sessions for free with my friends when I started doing human design to like get practice. There are certain rules that just like, you cannot be a projector, never done a reading in your life and start charging $500 for your first reading. I mean, you can. It's pretty unlikely you'll find somebody who will want the service and you'll feel comfortable enough to sustain that money when you haven't like felt that security within you that you actually have done at least one reading in your life and you know you're able to do that, right? Like there's nuances to this. I'm just trying to like break it down. And so on the flip side, I think there's another piece really important for projectors, which is the patience piece, which is the having to wait it out piece, the talking into the ether and getting crickets because of the energy peaks where the projector only gets energy once they've received the feedback. So they have to study to magnetize their aura. Then they have to share themselves and make themselves vulnerable to be seen so that other people can invite them. Then they need to be invited. They need to be recognized and invited. Then there needs to be a monetary exchange. Then the value exchange has to happen. The projector has to see their client and then they get feedback and then the projector has energy to continue. That is a freaking long loop to get energy. And so that beginning period for a projector can take longer than you might like it, can feel harder than you might want it because you know you're meant to be somewhere else. But I really believe that there's something in that sacrifice and in that hardship of the beginning before a projector blows up that is necessary to then be humble. I don't know if I would have struggled so many freaking years, I would be down to earth and humble as I am now. You're like, you're not humble, Micah. Maybe I'm not, I don't know. Today is a weird day. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, if you want to know more and go in depth into understanding how money and human design interact with your specific energy type, I've created like this is, I think, the best thing I've ever created in terms of downloadable booklets. It gets so in depth, gets so practical. You will see why you're stuck. You will see what you have to do to find abundance. I go into the money gates. Like there's everything about human design and money is into this PDF, and I've written it specifically for your energy type so that it can really apply to your energetic authenticity. If you've enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. If you don't, DM me personally. Maybe we don't have to put it publicly. I'm actually curious. Like, I feel like this is a bit out of character and I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's because the planets in Aries. I don't know if it's because I'm having a day. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's a bit out of character. I hope it will still be well received and you'll be able to find some nuggets of truth. I know that I'm not saying it in the softest way, but sometimes I think specifically with money, we just gotta like rip off the Band-Aid and look that shit into the eyes and be like, okay, I am seeing my limitations. I'm gonna work on them and I'm gonna figure it out. And so today I was just like a bit more, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I'm open. I'm here. I love you. Remember, I don't care what anybody says. I love you no matter what. Let me know in the comments if you want to go deeper into things, but if you want to go deeper, there's the PDF. Thank you so much for your time. Have a beautiful day. See you next Sunday.